Once the grid is drawn onto your drawing paper and you have marked where all the major shapes are, which are the pears and the table, you are going to gesture the general shape onto your drawing paper. Gesturing means using your whole arm to draw what you are looking at, and you will do it quickly. So it's not going into figuring out what the detail is. You're just going to figure out what the general shape of everything is and quickly put that down. It should take seconds. So I'm looking at the bottom of the pear, which is mostly a circular shape, and then the top is a triangular shape. So if we break that down into a circle, this is mostly a triangle. Same over here. That's kind of an easy way to figure out how am I going to take this complex form and make it simple. So when you gesture, you're holding the end of your pencil and it should be loose. It should be wiggly in your hand. And then you're using your whole arm to begin with. So I'm just going to put that down lightly and loosely. I'm looking back and forth from my paper to my drawing. And I'm putting those shapes in. Notice that I don't have just one outline, I have many outlines. And notice that I'm keeping the shapes in the correct squares. So the end of this pear is going into the same box. The bottom of this pear is going into the bottom box. I don't have the top of the pear up here into the third box. Once you have it gestured out like that, everything is quickly done. You are going to fine tune those lines and figure out which of them you want to keep. So I know that this crosses about here and it comes down. Now I'm holding the pencil more towards the end and I'm using my wrist. I'm still not using my fingers to get that information on my paper. And I'm still looking back and forth from my paper to my drawing. Make sure that I'm putting everything in the correct place. Notice there I made my original gesture was over here. It wasn't a big deal for me to switch that over to a different spot because it took me seconds to do it and it was light and wasn't a big deal. I did it easily. I didn't have to get upset about it because I didn't spend much time on it. Same with that pear. It was in the complete wrong spot. Gesturing helps us get an idea on the shape before we spend a lot of time drawing it, and it'll help us make sure that we didn't put things in the wrong square initially. It doesn't mean that those gesture lines are going to be perfect and stay in the same spot, and in fact they probably aren't going to stay in the same spot. They will probably be moved. So then I've got the outline of my pears done. I think this pear is still a little bit too low, so I'm going to raise it by just checking where it needs to go in relation to my grid lines. There, that's better. So I've got lots and lots of messy lines happening. I'm not worried about it though because the next step will be shading. So I might just fine tune those, figure out if I made some of them too big. Notice I didn't pick an eraser up once. I just kept drawing. I was looking back and forth constantly trying to compare. So I've got my gesture and I've got the original image and I know the table is about at that line. So that's getting the gesture done and the fine tune of the outline.